Hello and welcome to Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown. This is our brand new podcast following on from Cracking On With The Sun, where we were talking all about Love Island's All-Stars series. Now we're here about Celebrity Big Brother, which I'm so excited about.
It's a whole new ball game. Mm-hmm. We're swapping bikinis for, questionable dressing gowns, for scribbled rants on blackboards. It's just all going to be
I do hope it's going to be
different.
as iconic as that. That would be brilliant.
So. And to kick us off, we've got an equally iconic celebrity house guest for the podcast. We have Howell Davies. He's Associate Bizarre Editor here at The Sun. And he is with us because on Friday night, he got a sneak peek at the Celebrity Big Brother house.
It was amazing. I went into that house and I was like, right, okay, I think I'm ready to enter as an actual housemate now. Like, this is fun.
I didn't think you were going to come out of it. I thought you were just going to sneak in, hide somewhere and then just be there on launch night.
Well, I was sort of thinking, I wonder if I could smuggle something into the house and leave it in there. But then I thought I could get in trouble, so I'm not going to do that.
Do you know, I've got a story about this.
Oh, God.
So in a past series long ago, a journalist I knew one of the celebrities quite well, and they left a note hidden in the house for the celebrity that was going in. It didn't go well for this celebrity. So I always like to blame it on said journalist, that it was the note that was the problem.
Oh, I so want to know who this is.
I'm going to leave it blind because it's not my story to tell, but it can be done. And now we're disappointed in you, Hal.
But aside from disappointing us, what can you bring us to tell us all about?
Everything.
I mean, it was so fun. So obviously we saw the house last year, the brand new house. It's a new location and everything. So we saw that last year, and it's the same layout. So you've still got that main area, which is the kitchen, living room, and then you've got that little sort of mezzanine room where you can look down on people. The bedroom's still the same, the bathroom's all in the same locations, but they've sort of just glitzed it up a bit for the celebrity series. So there's gold stars on the floors everywhere and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's gold cushions, gold ornaments. There's gold crocodile statues and things like that. Very strange, but sort of what you want from the Big Brother house, you know. And yeah, I think it was sort of a bit smaller than I thought it was going to be. It feels quite tight in there. The other thing that's kind of crazy is when you're watching it, sometimes you can see that the ceiling in the main room is windows. And I was like, oh, that's quite nice. You've got some natural light coming in. But no, it's not. It's actually just all light boxes. So you're just like, oh my God. Unless you're going out into that garden, you're not getting any natural light. I think that would drive me a bit crazy.
It's like a dressing room kind of lighting area where it's just never complimentary to you. You just feel horrible about it.
I went in there for when it was the launch of the civilian series, and I had the same experience where you think, oh my God, it's got 2 levels. It's going to feel quite big and spacious. But all those lights, it kind of feels quite oppressive, I thought. And I can totally see how it drives people crazy.
It's interesting you say that because I met Yimran, who was in the civilian series, and she was telling us how they actually had a lot of space, and especially when it went down to sort of maybe not as many of them in there, she felt like you were kind of yelling out to everyone, where is everyone? There was just a lot of space, and they kind of had their area. She was part of that group that took over the upstairs part, and it gave them this outlook to be able to sort of look down at everyone, sort of suss out who was with who was fighting with who, and kind of be out of it a little bit. But yeah, I've also been in the Big Brother house, but this was back in when it was in Elstree, and that was a really surreal experience. And I found the same as you guys, where I walked in and thought I would be so claustrophobic in here. I would feel just. It was a really weird experience. You walk in and you think, this is you. You've got to live 24 hours a day in here. And if you go out to the garden, it's still tiny. It's just everything's so cramped. And then think of all the people extra that are going and in there as well.
So I think that, Hal, your experience in there probably is the most true to being in Celebrity Big Brother as any of us normal people are going to get, because you were in there with a bunch of people, influencers, and everyone trying to get their content.
Right.
And to me, that must be almost exactly what it's like, because it's everybody in there trying to create.
Totally. And you know what? I sort of like hogged it a bit. I went straight in that diary room and I was like, right, I need to get some blood and TikToks here. So I was there recreating like Tiffany Pollard's speech about Gemma Collins. I did a bit of Jade Goody's mum in there. And it was really fun. And I was like having the best time. And then I realised there was like a big queue of people waiting to go in the diary room. And I was like, sorry, like I just know that I'd be the one hogging it if I was actually in the show. But it was so fun. Oh my God.
Did Big Brother talk to you when you were in the diary room?
Not
Did
when
you hear
I was in the
anything?
diary room, but when we were like walking around the house, it was like, journalists, please gather on the sofas. And I was like, oh my God, like this is fear of God in me. And then we did nominations around the sofa in front of each other. And I got voted out. I was like, excuse me.
That's because you hogged all the time in the diary room.
I mean, realistically.
Do you know what, though? That's like genuinely sometimes one of the things that people get nominated for. Like, when you look back over the series, sometimes it was things like they're always constantly in the diary room, they're game playing, they're trying to get airtime and all of that. I think this is a perfect time to check out Howell's footage from in the house. Yeah. Now, he didn't lie, he did some great TikToks as well as a little sneak peek for Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown. So, shall we have a look?
So I'm here in the Big Brother house. I'm Howell Davies, Associate Bazaar Editor at The Sun. And isn't this absolutely insane? I feel like maybe I'm the next Louis Walsh, not sure. But here we are. The house is the same shape as the last series on ITV. Obviously very fun. They've added some glitzy touches, so there's some gold bits now on the set. It's all looking very glam. Here's the sofa. Here's where they'll be doing, all the evictions. They'll be coming and sitting down here. I just came to the lift here, which was amazing. I feel like a true Big Brother housemate. And I'm excited to get started. I mean, the house is looking beautiful. It's smaller than I imagined it would be, actually, but very fun. So the series starts on Monday, when all the celebrities will be entering the house. And it's going to be the best thing ever. I'm so excited.
Oh, you were having the time of your life.
So excited. I was on cloud nine, I've got to admit.
I think you look at home there.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's my calling now. I'd be terrified, but excited.
Next year we'll be talking about you being
Just need to become a celebrity and then the world's my oyster.
We've got a year to go. It's fine. We can make it happen.
So you've got some other things that you spotted which weren't in those videos to tell us about, haven't you? Some exclusives for the Breakdown audience.
So there's some bits of the house that I feel like you don't really see much on TV. And one of those is the storeroom, which I feel like I didn't think would be exciting. That's just where they go and get their groceries when they're delivered or whatever. But one thing that I did think was interesting is there's sort of these boxes that are built into the wall, which are for like medical supplies. Sounds a bit weird, but I guess like celebrities and whatever medication they're in, they can be delivered into the house through these boxes.
Like supplements, all kinds of things.
Yes, like that, I guess. And so there are these boxes on the wall, but there's 16 boxes. Which makes me think, so there could be 16 housemates in this series. We don't have 16 people going in. So I wonder whether there will be some extra people entering the house as we go along.
Oh my God, that is so good.
That's such a good spot, Hal. This is why we sent our best man in.
I was like counting those boxes, counting those beds, got to make sure we're across it all.
Yeah, nice.
Let's talk about the bedroom.
Well, so the bedroom is fun. Like, it is cool. Also, though, I wouldn't want to be sleeping. It's like being in a dorm. Like, it's really... When you actually think about sleeping that close to so many people, a bit weird.
It's weird, yeah.
But we better not tell ITV because I was a bit naughty. I was doing one TikTok where I sort of jumped on the bed and it did go bang. And I thought, oh, right, this isn't quite like... I don't know what that bed was built out. I think it was like built with like a few matchsticks or something because I'm not that heavy. I was like, oh my God. So look, if that bed's broken, it definitely wasn't me. I'm sure it was Louis Walsh or something. I'm not sure. I don't know who it was.
When we hear one of the celebrities, and I really hope it is Louis, and he's just moaning about, I've got a broken bed, we'll know exactly who's to blame for that.
The thing is, I feel like you see celebrities jumping on their beds or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just
What's
sort of
happened?
like dived onto it. And
Yeah.
Did you just get up and just leave and just not say anything?
Yeah,
about
I was
it?
like, just stood up and like walked away quickly, like, oh, it wasn't me. What was that noise? I'm not sure.
Hal, this is breakdown behaviour and I love it. Chaos.
So with the bed, sorry, the end bit. So the space in between them, is it as cramped as we've seen it before? Because sometimes they do switch up the bedrooms, which I always wonder whether it's the celebrities making a bit of demands, like I don't want to be that near to someone. Is it just really quite cramped in, like we saw the civilian one this year?
Yeah, it's the same as the civilian one, and they aren't super close. Like there is at least room to like get out of bed, but just having that many people sleeping in one room is just a bit gross, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're all sharing, so it's mostly double beds again.
Yeah. Well, there's some single beds and some doubles. There's a mix. But I don't know if you can remember, but in some of the other celebrity series in the past, they have had like private bedrooms, but they don't have that. So it's like whatever happens, you're sleeping in that dormitory. Like, that's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we should talk about the housemates.
Yeah.
So we should say at this point that the Sun has revealed the lineup, but very much at this point that's still rumoured until they walk into that house, much like with the Love Island villa, as we always say. They're not in the villa till they're in the villa. Same with the house. But from what we know...
Anyone could pull out at the last minute.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what could happen within the next 24 hours.
Yeah, they might break a nail. So from who we know, who's your fave? Who do you think's going to have a breakdown in a lovely way possible? Who do you think's going to win? Give me your predictions.
You go for it, Hal.
Oof, I mean, I don't know who's going to win, but I personally am looking forward to seeing Louis Walsh on there.
Yeah.
Because I just think he's funny, and we actually haven't seen him on TV for like, what's it been, 7 or 8 years?
Yeah.
Like, it's been a long time. Maybe not that long, but a while. And I think he's good value. I was actually talking to an act that he used to manage the other week, and they were like, he's going to be such good value on that show because he is absolutely crackers. Like, he's madder than you ever saw him on X Factor. Like, in real life, he's so, like, strange, lovely but strange.
I can see that.
And they said that like he once turned up to one of their gigs. He was the manager. He turned up to the gig and was like, "Oh, I've just got like 20 people with me who I've put on the guest list because I just met them on the train and they wanted to come." And they were like, "What?" Like chaos.
Oh, I love that.
So you just know that he's going to be winding people up and being hilarious, I hope. Anyway.
Yeah.
And it's sort of double trouble because we know that Sharon Osbourne's going to be going in for a limited time.
Yeah.
The queen that she is, she makes her own rules, which I am obsessed with. With those two together reuniting, I think it's just such a moment for fans, and they are just, I think they'll really bounce off each other.
Yeah.
I think they'll also sort of, encourage each other to be naughty.
Yeah.
And to have that in the house will be brilliant. We need some mischievousness
I
from our
think so too.
celebrities this time around.
I think what's really important and an amazing decision from bosses is that it's vote to save, which means that we're not going to end up with the boring people in just because they've been forgotten about. Obviously with vote to evict, it means that
That's such a good
sometimes
point,
it's the
yeah.
divisive characters that get out first, whereas they're the ones we need for the drama. So I can honestly see Louis winning, personally.
I mean, it could be great.
Do you see Louis staying in, though, the whole time? I think if he does, he wins. But I don't know. He seems to me like he could be a little bit diva-y and he'll just suddenly say, I'm off.
Get that fire exit door. I'm off.
Do you remember when Leo Sayer...
Throwback.
Wow, that is a throwback.
deep into the archives, but very mild-mannered, like pop icon vibes, Thunder in Your Heart, etc. Just went in and was like, "May I humbly request a new pair of underpants?" So polite, so genteel, and they were like, "No, go and wash them," in a lovely Big Brother way. And he absolutely lost it, stormed out the house, smashed the door, had to be like wrestled to the ground by security. Are we seeing that from Louis?
I mean, if it's over pants, then that's iconic. Like, it was so funny.
And that's what we love about it, though, is that you're seeing it's going to be those mad moments. It's not necessarily what you think they're going to erupt at that they do. That's what I'm most looking forward to. I think there'll be quite a few stirrers in there. So I'm thinking like an Ekin Sue type.
She knows what she's doing.
She's going in there, and I think she's obviously, she's fast becoming reality TV royalty because she obviously won Love Island and then she was in The Traitors, and I think she's picking up that she's got her actress background, so she's using that as a way to go in and play a character. I don't think it's necessarily her because when you meet her, she's very chilled, laid back, she's really kind.
Yeah.
But you can see her going into here and just stirring up some trouble.
Yeah, agreed.
I think there's quite a few people as well who are famous in their own right, but maybe not everyone knows who they are. And sometimes they can be the best. Like, we've got to think about Tiffany Pollard when she went in New York. I had no idea who she was, and then she was the drama for the entire series. Like, she was so great.
Yeah.
David's dead. What more can I say?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is just my favourite moment of TV.
It's just wild. It's just so good. So I do feel like there's a few people like David Potts, who could be, and Lauren Simon, who could be those sorts of characters.
Yeah.
Who are really...
Good shout.
David Potts is totally bonkers. Really bonkers. I mean, he's so much fun, but I just remember I think we were like reality TV awards or something, and he'd won, and he was so genuine. He couldn't believe that he'd won, and he was thrilled. It wasn't like you pick up the award and you're like, yeah, whatever. He was just, this is like going pride of place in his house. You just knew it. And he was screaming and jumping up and down and like hugging everyone, like strangers, journalists, cameramen who were behind, they're like, what the hell is going on? He was just going mad. And I think that he's going to bring like a lot of energy to the house, whether it's too much energy for some of the maybe the older housemates in there who want to go to sleep. I can imagine him being one of the ones that is maybe jumping on the bed late at night and causing some trouble. And
do you know who I think is going to not necessarily make that much of an impact and maybe leave early? Because I just don't think the British public will like Gary Goldsmith.
He's one of those people who, like, obviously the connection to Kate Middleton is great, but does he have a personality? He's like quite a private guy from what I see. So will he be in there like a bit not really sure what he's doing because he's not used to the limelight?
Although we are a nation of gossip lovers, so do we keep him in because potentially he's holding some more dynamite lines out of him?
But
I mean, we need to know everything.
I don't think that he will actually be able to share that much, because I mean, let's face it, at the moment Kate Middleton's actually quite ill, as from what we know from her operation. I think ITV will be very careful about what they show from Gary.
He might be talking about it but not necessarily it being aired.
Yeah. And same thing, it's like, what's he actually got to say beyond just a little tease here and there about Kate Middleton? Do we actually even care about him beyond Kate Middleton? And I don't think he's got that vote to save kind of vibe to him. Like, I don't want him there. I don't care. I mean, I'm not really a royalist, but I don't really want to hear Kate Middleton's dirty laundry aired on Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah, he's not got a ready-built fan base, has he?
No.
Like some of the others. I think Nikita from Strictly will be an interesting one, though, because he's obviously done really well on Strictly, super successful. But I'm not sure what his personality is like. I don't really know that much about him.
I was surprised about him being on there for some reason. I don't know why. Strictly just seems quite off limits. It's like you're on that big show and you stay there. Him kind of coming out of it was odd. But OT, she's going to be on Late and Live, isn't she? And they'll know each other, so she might have some insights about him.
Defo. I just think it's going to be brilliant. Like, what we can say looking at that lineup is there's a real mix, which is what everyone wanted, isn't it? There's no like obvious, you've just filled it full of influencers. There's people in there who've definitely got things to talk about, like Zizi. Bradley Riches will be a really interested one, the actor who's on Heartstopper. I know he's like a sort of youth heartthrob kind of thing, but it'll be interesting to learn more about him.
Well, it is a good mix in that way, though, because you have got the old schools. I mean, look, Fern Britton and what she could potentially divulge about Philip Schofield and all of that, but then again, we're on ITV, so it's gonna it's gonna be interesting how that all plays out and what we get shown. And also, she had the breakdown of her 20-year marriage. For her to sort of go in there quite vulnerable, maybe still at this point, and to go in and could it be Vanessa Feltz point 2.0? It could be that where she goes and actually she's not quite ready and ends up spilling a little bit more than she intended to.
I think she could be great, though. I think she's genuinely a really nice person.
Yeah.
And I think that will come across. And actually, maybe that will, work in her favour. People will be like, wow, she's really nice. She's had a hard time.
Yeah.
And she's a great housemate.
I think you're right.
Do you know what I think? The people who I think tend to do well in these situations, bar potentially Vanessa Feltz as an example of it going slightly wrong, are people who were journalists. So Fern obviously has interviewed people her whole life, so she will pull out those really interesting conversations, and I think that that's the kind of people that you sometimes need in there.
We're depending on her.
She's relying on
we
you.
need her in there, and we need her to be getting all of the gossip about Kate, I'm sorry, but we want it. And then he can go. We just need the gossip first off. But I love the fact that it's such a varied lineup, because you have, I did see some moans online about, how there's some names that maybe people weren't like they didn't know, it's not a household name, but it's bringing in a different audience, and surely that's what we want. You know, it's a big ITV show now. We want it to be that it's bringing in a younger generation and
Defo.
all the YouTube fans and everything, rather than just old school ITV names.
Yeah, I agree. So I wanted to ask you, Hal, while you're here, your favourite Celebrity Big Brother moment of all time?
Of all time.
On the spot here, you've mentioned David's Dead already with Tiffany Pollard, the old maiden shoes. We've seen your TikTok.
I mean, Gemma Collins' best bits from that series are just
It's everything.
everything. Like, it's so good. But the trouble is, Celebrity Big Brother, there's been so many iconic moments. Even, Jackie. Like, come on. Oh my God, so good.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but that series with Tiffany Pollard, Gemma Collins, all of them.
Christopher Maloney.
David Guest,
Yeah.
Daniela Westbrook. I mean, it was really a cracker series.
Yeah.
I mean, I was working here at the time, and I can remember just writing about it day in, day out, and being like, this is mental. Like, what on earth is going on in this house? It's so good.
That was an insane one. What about you?
So David Zed is my ultimate favourite.
Yeah.
I just don't think it can be beaten. It is just one of those things, you couldn't have even written it, and for it to have worked out as well as that. Moments like when they cut away to Gemma's face, just being like, what the hell? You know, you had Daniela Westbrook saying, she said the husband's dead. Like, there was just so many moments of pure gold within that. Obviously Nikki Graham, I love the fact that she had all of her iconic moments in the diary room. I think when you think of Big Brother in the diary room, you think
Not technically
of her.
Celebrity Big Brother though, Amanda Devlin.
Oh, that's true.
Well, she went back for the All-Stars,
All
though.
Stars.
And she
So-
hammed it up. She really hammed it up. And
She
I love
knew
her.
her
She's
job.
just iconic. Who else do I love?
Do you want me to do my favourite while you think? Because
Yeah.
I have put you on the spot
Yeah.
here. Now, I know I said Leo Sayer, that's just another throwback, but my favourite is when they put Chanel in there.
I was literally just about to say this. Chantal.
Chantal.
Chanel.
It's my favourite, but I can't remember the name. As like a non-celebrity, and she
And she
had
had
to
the song.
candy floss with a K.
With a K.
I want it all. I want it right now.
I want it all.
I want it right now. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Just absolute perfection. What a genius
I
move
know.
at the perfect time for that to happen.
And this is
The
what I
best.
think that Celebrity Big Brother, like, I know we love all these, just like celebrities being mental at each other and stuff, but I also think that it's where the games and challenges really come into their role. Do you also remember that one where it was Cheryl Ferguson and Julie Goodyear, and they were
Yes.
like, for 90 minutes, go in there and do a soap opera. And it was when Julie Goodyear was like, don't talk shit. It was amazing. Please treat yourself to going, actually, let's just play that clip right now, because it was iconic.
These guys don't even know the history or nothing of what you've done.
Well, why bring it up now?
Huh?
Why bring it up now?
What do you mean? Because you keep giving me the evils. Don't talk.
I have absolutely no recollection of that whatsoever. That was mental.
No wonder you look so bemused. I'm sorry, but you do it better than Julie Goodyear.
Oh my
That was insane.
She
That's
is
my
my
favourite moment
style
ever.
icon, guys. So
God, that was good. That's so funny. Oh, it's just they bring the celebrity version. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Big Brother overall, but the celebrity version just gives something extra. And this time, I'm just hoping that there's not that sort of muted, trying to control everything. But the point of Big Brother is that they do seem to just break everyone. The breakdown is with our new podcast is them being broken down to a point where they have to be real, because it's just too much pressure for them to be 24/7 hiding or behind this act.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about them. They always do break.
It's like when you were just talking about Julie Goodyear. My lasting memory of her being in the show was her just constantly being in a dressing gown, in my head anyway. And I'm like, that's so funny, isn't it? You just see these celebrities who, like, usually so polished and preened on TV, and then they're strolling around in their slippers and dressing gown. It's like, okay, that is enough of a breakdown, really, because you're like, wow, I didn't expect to see Louis Walsh in his pajamas.
I know.
I thought you were going to say pants for a second, and I was like, whoa.
Well, we'll probably see that as well, won't we? Let's
We're
face it.
definitely going to have David Potts in
so.
his pants, because isn't he like constantly in like hot pants?
Did you see the photos of him, the pap photos of him arriving at the hotel to like sort of go into hiding for Big Brother, and he was just wearing a hoodie? I was like, it's like 2 degrees outside. Put some trousers on, hun. Like,
That's his image. I just think he wants to keep with that, doesn't he? I want to talk about the live show. So we know that this time, so the launch is going to be live, other than the Pavilion one, which was. It was an odd one, wasn't it, last time? It was just so edited that it lost that chaoticness that we love from the launch show. What do you think is going to bring with it being live? What's the extra sparkle that it gives?
Well, definitely, I think that it means that, like you say, it's that immediacy. It's the fact that the crowd will be reacting there and then. What we know from the launch last time with the pre-record was that the crowd were told no booing. AJ had a whole load of, bless her, wardrobe malfunctions with that really long wig that looked amazing with the vinyl catsuit. It all kept sticking together. So helpers kept having to come onto the stage and basically almost like lube her up to stop it happening. And for me, it's things like that. So when I interviewed AJ the other day about this, I brought up her wardrobe malfunction. She was like, excuse me. But she was like, we've learnt the lessons. There might be vinyl, but I've learnt the lessons. And it's stuff like that.
And I think those two, I mean, I love them as hosts.
Yeah.
I really, really love them because you can tell they've got a really genuine friendship, and there's something about they are actually enjoying every moment of it. And when you can see that, you feel like you're enjoying it. And I think they'll be better live because I think you can see their chemistry better when they're just like getting on with it themselves. And I think if anything goes wrong, they will be really good at actually reacting to it in the right way.
You went down to an eviction, didn't you?
I went down to an eviction last year and it was so fun. And it was actually like just exciting. It felt so buzzy.
Yeah.
The thing I think will be interesting about the live launch show is like, what happens if it rains? Because when I was there on Friday, I was so excited about this. I walked down, the sort of catwalk that they go to
that
go
is
in
so
and out
good.
of the house. And it was pouring down with rain, and they were like, you need to be careful, don't slip up. They were like really scared about that. I'm like,
Health and
I'm not
safety.
even a celebrity, like I'm worth nothing to you, so I don't know why you care.
You break your legs, doesn't matter.
Right, but like, hey, I'm not saying we want anyone to fall over on the launch show.
Yeah.
But great TV. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh my goodness, I didn't even think of that because it does look really slippy, and they could just be, oh god, can you imagine the embarrassment?
If Ekin-Su wears what I hear she's going to be wearing, she doesn't want to be falling over in that.
Is it kind of Dancing on Ice style?
Oh,
she
no,
was
but that
just
was-
so sexy.
I mean, it's incredibly sexy, but it's not the see-through catsuit from Dancing on Ice,
Okay.
unfortunately. So because it is so live, I don't have the sneak peek info that you guys will know that we had from the Love Island podcast, because ITV have said to me, no spoilers for tonight, Flick. There's going to be no spoilers because we want it to be as off the press and secret for the fans as possible.
Oh, exciting.
Which either says to me it's going to be amazing or there's not anything that exciting to say.
I mean, to be fair, look, there's loads of celebs going into a house, so that's exciting enough. But if there's a twist at the end of the episode, which, I mean, Big Brother is famous for, it could be incredible. And like those sorts of things just excite me so much. I mean, you have to remember on the Civilian series when they were like blowing up people's suitcases and stuff. Like that was absolutely
Oh my
crackers.
God.
And I want that because can you imagine
So good.
how Ekin-Su will react if she has her suitcase blown up? Like she ain't gonna be wearing Louis Walsh's trousers. You know what I mean?
But she'd probably still make it look good.
Yeah, she would.
Oh, she could
She's
wear
stunning.
a burlap sack, couldn't she?
Yeah.
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 Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, her in like David Potts pants or something. That's what I'm kind of.
Her in Fern Britton's cardigan, yeah.
Right, Ekin, there you go. There's your challenge.
That doesn't happen, I'm going to be disappointed now.
I know.
I think they will throw in a good few surprises. I think there'll be that kind of thing of what, something goes wrong with their clothes, because that does, it's a weird thing as your identity when you go in there. And maybe especially as a celebrity, you've kind of built up, right, this is my armour.
Yeah.
And for them to go in there and then that be taken away from them instantly is difficult.
It's sort of your only connection to the outside world, your like real life. It's apart from your actual human body, you don't have any possessions in there. So if that's the only thing
Do
you've
they have
got.
any luxuries that they're taking in?
Well, do you know, there's one thing that I have found out about the house, and I don't know whether you would have noticed this, Hal, necessarily, because of having not seen it the first time round. For the celebrities, they have had to upgrade the showers. So the showers have been given like a luxury upgrade. So I don't know if you remember from the Civilian that it was a bit see-through. You could see someone's head.
Yes, yeah.
And I think now they've had to give it all a proper spruce up. Celebrities demanding a bit more privacy, a bit more of a luxurious experience. So
They do still have that bathtub right in the middle of the room, though, and I'm like, who's who's having a bath in that? Because
I would be in that.
I mean,
David Potts.
I went in that bath when I was in that house because I was like,
Did you?
I'm getting in this bath because
Yeah.
I want to see then, like, imagine if, you know, like Ekin-Su's in the bath. I was like, I was in that bath actually. With Ekin-Su. Not with Ekin-Su. But yeah, I was just like, who's having a bath in here? It's very exposed.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's going to be Louis Walsh. I just can see it now.
Well, do you think
With a
he'll put
rubber ducky.
I'm just
Speedos
starting
on,
to
or-
see. Yeah, I'm just starting to see these images creep up in my mind of
Amanda.
him getting in, and he's got some little tiny speedos on, but he suddenly whips them off, and there's just bubbles in the bath.
Why are
That's
you
what I'm
always
actually,
so
I don't know why I'm
obsessed with
thinking about
Speedos
this,
and tiny
really.
pants?
Oh my god, your fantasies are quite something.
Amanda. Well, I think
So
that's a
stay
really
tuned
good.
if my fantasy comes true.
For the podcast, Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown, we're going to have lots more of the same that you would have enjoyed for Cracking On with the Sun. We're going to be chatting to housemates old and new. We're going to have some little chats with AJ and Will, and then all of the gossip coming out from the house and
You're going to
everything.
be delivering with all of your little spoilers.
Try-
I might return as Detective Devlin.
Yes, I love
And,
that.
And I want to be back on here.
Yeah,
for sure, absolutely.
Well, we'll need to do our nominations, Hal, and see if all of that time in the diary room didn't count you out.
Oh my god, I can't believe you got voted out and you're here. That's
I
why this
know.
is
I'm
the
like the first
prize.
evictee.
You are. So we'll be back every weekday, 5 p.m. as before, and we'll see you next time.
See you.